Hello pumpkins. Busy day ahead. First things first, open the gym. A little bit of a lay-in this morning. Woke up at 7:15, laid in bed till 7:30. Had a coffee before leaving the house. Oh, amazing. What a way to start the day. Just weekend vibes. But now I've got to go open my gym, just make sure it's looking presentable. Judith will be taking the intermediates at 5 o'clock. And I believe Michael will be taking a bag blast at 6 o'clock. So, two of NCA's finest leading the ship tonight. So I'm happy with that. It's very nice. Michael, I know Michael doesn't watch this because Michael's always making nice food and doing stuff that's just a bit fancier than me, culinarily speaking. Puts a lot of effort into his food. So probably doesn't have the time to watch this. Probably mastering some sort of fried chicken recipe with a twist. But I've heard lots of nice things about Michael's bag blast class. Trafficking heck! Lots of nice things about Michael's bag blast classes. How he likes to rev the guys up, gets like access to his feelings and just boosts the energy in the room. And everybody likes to work hard. And they have to, because Michael seemingly, from what I've heard, works people harder than me on bag blasts, and that is quite something, because I've literally been given the nickname Fitler before. So that's cool. And Judith saving the day, hopping in now and then. I'm very curious to see what she will do with the class as well, so I'm going to send her a message and make sure I know what she's got planned. So that will be fun. She hasn't done too many classes, but everybody loves Judith and everybody looks up to Judith, so I imagine it's going to be a jump, and they don't ask how high, they just jump as high as they can, because that's what you should do. And then after opening the gym, I go on the sickest tangents. Just absolutely fly off the rails when I talk. Just boing, okay, you want to go over this way instead? No. All right. After opening the game, I am going to... Oh, yoga. Yeah, so this is my 4th week of yoga, and in some ways I feel like a looser, more relaxed man, so that's very nice. Most of the stretches are like spinal and lower body, focus on the hamstrings, the glutes, quads, the calves, the front of the foot, that kind of stuff. And that's great, because I need a bit of that action, and then I manage my own mobility with the shoulders on the other days, hanging off stuff, for example, getting the bands out. So that'll be nice. And it's just nice and relaxing to get into the sauna after, although last week I was absolutely devastated that the sauna wasn't on. But I've been in the sauna already once this week. Monday sauna action was lovely, and this will be very nice as well. And then Sunday, gonna go to the new gym in town, which has a spa section. I'm gonna plop myself in that sauna as well. So that will be fantastic. After the yoga and the sauna, I'm gonna meet with a gentleman that I have been corresponding with, fancy words, that I've been talking with about maybe getting some equipment off him, but obviously it's all well and good to get excited about things. Oh, I'm going to get this for that, I'm going to get that for this, and you know, before you know the price, don't get too excited, all right? There's no point. No, I'm not going to say that. I have an expression for this, but it's very rude. So I'm not going to say that because there's younglings watching, and I'm not gonna say that expression. Okay? But basically, I'll narrow it down or take it back to an English expression that isn't rude, which is quite rare. Is don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Right? So just wait and see what the price is, see what the equipment is available, and see how we can make it happen, because there's a lot of things that need to mingle with each other, because there's been opportunities for me to have equipment before, but it's just like I don't have the time, like the time frames don't add up, because there's the equipment time frame, there's the opportunity time frame, there's the space time frame, and there's the finance time frame. And those finance time frames go in different sections. It's like, right, it would be nice, but I've got to get this, right? I have to prioritize the mats because the mats in the ring, for example, weren't up to scratch. Or it would be very nice to get that, but I've got to replace some bags. And I had the opportunity to get a piece of equipment that I wanted for a long time, but the bags, the mats, and a couple of other things all went kaput at the same time. So it was a no-go, and then that's business as I know it in my inexperienced phase as a businessman. But we're gonna have a look around. I'm excited to look around because I just like things, really. I just like looking at gadgets and gizmos, but I'm not expecting to leave with anything. I'm not expecting to shake hands and make a deal until I've seen everything, until we've had a talk. After that, going to the hospital to take care of business, speaking to a lovely doctor that is very helpful and has taught me a lot. So that's cool. That will take anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half, and I'm expecting there to be water in the coffee machine this time. The last 2 weeks I've been there hasn't been any coffee in the coffee machine, and it's starting to grate on me. So now I've spoken to the receptionist there, not about the coffee, but I did have a chat with her, and she was lovely. So I'm assuming she won't mind popping around the corner and fill that bad boy up with water for you, boy, so I can sit there. Because I like to go into the hospital, this might be a bad habit, but I like to go into the hospital flying, you know what I mean? If I it's probably one of the reasons why I'm going to talk to people about this. But I like to turn up to my, well, they're not therapy, but I like to talk to people about that kind of stuff when I'm absolutely buzzing off caffeine, you know? Obviously I don't use nicotine anymore, but if I did, I would get the ultra strong out, stuff that up my top lip, smash 2 or 3 coffees, and then go in just absolutely buzzing off the rails, ready to unload. But I don't need that. It's not healthy, but I'm going to go in a little jittery. Just helps me. Helps me not get stuck in this little shell. But anyway, after that, then I'm gonna go get probably another coffee and do a little bit of office work. I've got some clients I need to catch up with, and need to send some messages out to people that have shown interest in online coaching. Need to send some messages to people that have come for trial sessions. Need to catch up with some clients, like I said. Probably need to talk to my accountant about something, so I'll shoot him a message. He's a good lad. Usually responds in seconds, so I really appreciate that, because I tend to respond in weeks. which is not a good look. It's something I'm working on. After that, it's home, and then I will be popping my butt on the sofa, get like half hour chilling out, then I will definitely be going to the gym with my lovely girlfriend. So that will be very nice. Back on the menu, because my shoulders and my chest absolutely obliterated today. So it's definitely going to be a bit of back action. And you know, I only did 2 sets of biceps yesterday, so they're ready to go. And don't worry, I'm not farting. I'm testing my abs. My abs have recovered and they are ready to go as well. So that's fantastic news. Abs, biceps. If I'm doing biceps, you know I'm doing some forearms. The fat grips will come out, and back as well. Talking pull downs, talking seated cable rows, lat pullovers possibly, maybe at the very end of the session, because it is pencil neckery at its finest. But I want to be absolutely Denzel Washington by the time I get to doing any sort of pencil neckery. Wouldn't mind a little bit of barbell row, but the gym that I will be going to has decided that rather than having more space for equipment like barbells and platforms, they're going to put an enormous hole in the floor where you can see people use the masses of barbells downstairs, but you're not allowed to use them. So that, as a business idea, I would say, not that I'm the best businessman in the world, but I would say that that is somewhat of a mistake. It's really cool to see that you guys are commenting. I got some lovely comments, and yes, I am the type of guy that can forget an entire thing of lockers. Not just go to the gym and forget where my locker is, but actually lose an entire locker unit. But the comments are wonderful. It's really nice. Thank you so much. If you're watching and just, all right, where are you going, mate? If you're going, please make a decision. Please make a decision. Thank you. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, I can't believe I'm saying this in earnest, but if you're watching this and you are not subscribed, could you please subscribe? It would be really cool to see that number go up. I'm assuming that it will help me, and the reason why I'm doing this channel, one of the reasons I've said, but I want people to see me before they see NCA, and they're like, oh, that's the guy from NCA. He actually doesn't seem like a complete lunatic. It's probably not helping for that, but he seems like maybe someone I could work with or train with. And I guess we are just status-based things, and numbers do help. So if you see that number going up, it's like, oh, he's got some support. And anyway, you get what I'm saying. So now I'm going to open the gym, and then I'm off to Yoga Town, baby. Off to get bendy. Thank you. That's the weirdest thing I've said in ages. I'm disgusted with myself. So, alrighty then. Yoga is complete. Felt good. I notice I'm definitely getting more, what is a horrible word I could use? Supple in my glutes. My rear end is becoming more supple, and that's nice because I've sat in certain positions before, like stretching the glutes out, and it literally feels like my glutes are going to snap in half. And I can feel myself getting lower and lower into the position. This is really nice. Then I had a nice like 25 minutes sauna. I try and get a total of about an hour a week of sauna time, purely because I believe everything Huberman says except for ice baths. Don't believe that because I don't like ice baths. So very selective, very cherry picky, but that's my logic and I'm sticking to it. If you don't like that, then I respect that. But anyway, I do get so cold after the sauna. So I've just been to look at That is such a nice car. Oh, can you hear that? I hope you can hear that. Oh, is this? Yes, indicating to go forward at the roundabout. There we go. Just looked at some gym equipment, and there was a package discussed. Some of that package I don't need. Some of that package a mix of don't need, don't want, but couldn't have regardless. So I'm gonna go measure, when I get the chance, I'm gonna go measure the gym, measure the ceiling, measure the width and stuff like that, and make sure everything fits in to the area, and then I can kind of plan which equipment I want and which equipment I can have, which equipment will fit, and then start organizing a price on that. I'm not really gonna be a big, mate, that's not how roundabouts work, mate. This is literally just a vlog about me using using a roundabout and Norwegians not being able to drive. What if it's me that can't drive? That's what I worry about. But I'm not going to negotiate with someone that's giving me an outrageous deal from the start. That's a thing. So if you ever get an amazing deal on something, guys, don't haggle. This is what disturbs me about when people from countries like, I'm just going to use Norway as an example because the salary is good, everything is super expensive, and we get paid well. Those of us that have a normal job get paid well. And then go to Thailand where everything is comparatively free, and then haggle for a special price. That rubs me the wrong way. Because that money that you can give them, whether or not it's overpriced for Thailand, whether or not they're just charging you more because you're a foreigner, they live in a very poor military dictatorship, and you're paying something that if you dropped on the floor probably wouldn't turn around for in the grand scheme of things, and it will go a long way for them. So that is just etiquette, I would say. But I'm not going to be haggling, because I know the prices of these things new, and I know the prices of these things second hand, and even then it's a very good deal. So like I said, just gotta hope the timing's right on everything, and I gotta hope my landlord is cooperative with information about the building, because my landlord does not play ball with communication, unfortunately, and that's all I will say. Now I'm going to get a coffee because it is coming up to 1 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock I have to go to the hospital, so I may as well be at this end of town. That gym is absolutely rammed. I might have to go to that gym later. I don't care if it's rammed. I'm gonna slang weights around. But yeah, getting messages and comments from people that are excited to watch these videos. And it's funny because I'm seeing like the view count is like 4, but I get messages from 3 people, and that just means a lot to me. You know what I mean? That really does butter my parsnips. Makes me feel very happy. So thank you to everybody who has sent me a message or left a comment. I'm really happy about that, guys. I can't say it enough. It really puts a sprinkle on my day. I was gonna say it makes my day, but it doesn't make my day. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I think we should all make our own day, and then everything that people put on it extra, it's like the sprinkles, you know. It's not the sundae, it's the cherry on top, it's the sprinkles, it's the this, it's the that. But if we rely on people's kindness to have a good day, then, or people's actions to have a good day, then we're always going to have a bad day or a subpar day. I hope that's making sense. Car park is looking very busy, so I'm just going to sling it anywhere because I'm that kind of guy. Oh, that is bad parking. This is adequate parking. One thing about having a van, guys, let me tell you, one thing about having a van is that when people try and not let you in to a lane, when you're trying to merge and they're not accepting it in their fancy BMW, or if they're parking over the line and you just slide into the spot, they have to look at this old van with dings in it, with scratches on it, probably worth a total of much less than a BMW. And they have to think and make the judgment call of, do I think this van driver cares as much about the appearance of that van than I care about the appearance of my 1.5 million krona sports car? And then they always move out of the way. So it's the power of the van, I'm telling you guys. King of the road. And that is all of the work, really, based stuff for today taken care of. I think it's important for people to educate themselves on the basics of mental health, that I will say, and to keep track, in light of the conversation I've had, to keep track of their patterns of thinking. Because if you go from being a very optimistic and positive person and having your initial sort of knee-jerk reaction thoughts are very positive, and suddenly for no reason whatsoever you are struck by a tendency towards the nihilistic or the pessimistic. Did I say pessimistic instead of optimistic? But if you're usually an optimist and then you suddenly start noticing your tendencies towards nihilistic or pessimistic thoughts, and this is something that you need to keep track of, or at least be aware of, because you might notice, if you keep track of how life is going, because you can be reactively depressed or reactively sad to life, you know. If you've just lost all of your money and your relationships ended, someone in your family has passed away, and you've broken your leg, then not to say that you deserve to be depressed, but you should be depressed. It would be a very appropriate response to that situation. And then you would, okay, I've started noticing that I have a darker humor, I am a bit more pessimistic, I'm a bit more nihilistic in my thought patterns. What's going on with life? Let me just take stock. Well, I am struggling to pay the bills at the moment. I am working a lot more than I'd like to, and I have fallen out with a friend. I'm trying to keep up expectations with my family. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get into this study program, etc., etc. Be like, okay, yeah, okay. Now this is normal, but it's suboptimal. What can I do about it? But if you can't find any rhyme or reason for why that's happening, then you should talk to someone who's educated and talk to someone professional alongside your own studying, because the more you know going into it, the more they'll be able to help you and correct you, and the better off you're going to be because of it, you know. Because I mean, I've had a conversation where they've been like, okay, here's the warning signs, Here's the warning signs that people often have. Do any of these make sense for you? Well, yeah, actually, they do make a lot of sense for me. That's a great point. And then you can just catch it early and nip it in the bud, you know. But it's also, I've spoken with many people about this, and people that work in fields that help people that are in a suboptimal place in life. Oh, I hate driving here. They're at a suboptimal place in life, and these people don't take the bait, you know, they don't take the outstretched arm, and that can be very frustrating for people that are here to help. And it's the same with students in martial arts, you know. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm a good coach, you know. And the reason there are people with world-class coaches but with regional talent, sometimes it's because that is their limit of capability. Yeah, sure, yeah. But sometimes you've got world-class potential with world-class coaching with regional results. And that's purely because you have to save yourself. You have to get the work done. You have to be ready to be like, all right, I need to do as I'm told, or I need some help, or I need to listen to the expert in the room. And I need to look at the signs. I need to realize that I'm not living up to my potential, or something is wrong. Would you just cross? And that, you know, watch me do the Norwegian thing now. Oh, I'm going to indicate to go forward. Oh, 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 oh. And I think it's, if you just focus on educating yourself, like I spoke about the other day, you're in an echo chamber, man. You need to be bounced off the walls of conversation until it chips you away into something that resembles the truth. You know, you can't just be relying on yourself to save yourself, because there's things you don't know, and you need to be around people that do know, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. But it was an interesting talk. Now I'm looking forward to breaking my fast, and it's been 40 minutes since I've been able to eat, and I haven't eaten yet because of the appointment, and I am absolutely Hank Marvin. I'm so ready to eat. Right, you haven't indicated, so I'm pulling out in front of you. There you go, that's how it works. I saw you coming around there. I'm absolutely starving, and I want a big meal. I want a big meal now, but I'm not going to have a big meal because last week I got a bit carried away and had a big meal, and it ruined my gym session because I was so full. So I was so full, I was sleepy and lethargic, my belly was bloated, I felt heavy, and my pre-workout just soaked into the rice that I'd eaten and did nothing for me whatsoever until about 10 o'clock at night, when it finally broke through the rice. And I had an uncomfortable sleep, I didn't eat enough for dinner, and it just, greed and lack of emotional control got the best of me. So I'm gonna have a moderate meal now when I get home. I'm definitely gonna have a cup of coffee because I've only had 4 of those today. And then it's training. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're starting to train and starting to make changes in your life, don't go crazy straight away. If anything, you want to tease yourself with the prospect of more activity that you like doing rather than overwhelming yourself, right? Don't love bomb your new hobby, right? I know she's beautiful, I know she makes butterflies in your tummy, but don't tell her all the baby names because she'll get freaked out. Charles Boyle from Brooklyn? Don't go full Boyle, all right? Leave something to think about. Leave some mystery. Don't make it a job. Don't make it an obligation. Take your time and leave something. Leave some room for the imagination. Leave some room for the motivation and the passion to build. It's the oxygen that does the burning. And oxygen is found in the space in between. And if you just leave enough to heat up, it will erupt and it will burn. And it will burn for long enough to... You've literally just pulled out and parked in the middle of the roundabout. I think this is going to be a series of videos of me trying to be profound and then swearing at people for pulling out. I think this is actually not a fitness and Thai boxing and gym channel. I think this is a driving channel and a vlog about roundabouts. I think this is a roundabout vlog where I occasionally talk about training and life and owning a gym. So that's just hit me. But yeah, don't go crazy straight away. Leave some room for the passion, you know? Because you want to be like, oh, you've just trained on Tuesday and you're like, okay, I want to train on Wednesday, I want to train on Thursday, I want to train in the morning, I want to train in the evening, I just want to train all the time. And you're like, yeah, but I'm going to deliberately not train until Friday. And you'll get to Friday and you'll be absolutely gunning for it. This is for people that are trying to make a lifelong change out of something that's, they're not that person yet, you know? It's not the same for me because I just love training no matter what. If I could train for like 3-4 hours a day, I would. It's harder for me to not train. And that makes it difficult sometimes as a personal trainer. Is to know that clients don't necessarily like training, and that's absolutely fine, you know. It's just it's not my perspective. You always have to try and speak to someone as if they don't like anything about your life. You know? Sell it to them and understand that when it's not sellable, you have to just negotiate. Because if you've never done any training before and you're like, right, I want to lose weight and get in shape, so once a week is infinite percentage increase, right? Doesn't matter how many times you multiply 0, you get 0. Unless you're Terence Howard. But adding 1 session per week to 0, oh, those Shelby pickup trucks, is an absolutely gargantuan increase, right? So that's fine. When you go in there, just go absolutely crazy, you know? Simple as that. Really looking forward to getting some food. Gonna just list out the things that I need for the gym that I can acquire from this gentleman I saw earlier. And it's funny because I went to a gym, I was like, hey, I've noticed that you put all this stuff in this warehouse when you get rid of the equipment. Is it possible for me to buy this equipment off you? And they said, no, we have a guy that does that. We have a company that takes our equipment off us. So unfortunately not. And then I spoke to another friend saying, do you know anyone that has equipment? And he said, yes, I do actually. And he's going to sell loads of it. And then I got his contact details. And then he took me to the warehouse where that gym takes their stuff after they give it to him. So I've taken 3 steps to do 1 step. But I've ended up exactly where I want to be. So trust the process, guys. You might not get there in an ABC, you know. But if you stay frosty and you stay composed and you just take the right steps, you'll get to where you want to go. It says, logic says, I got from point A to point B by keeping it G. And that is some profound wisdom for you guys. And as I've dropped some profound wisdom, it's only suitable for me to mention that I'm stuck in traffic now. But keep it G, guys. Stay frosty. If one door closes, depending on the situation, try kicking the door. If it's not a door for kicking, don't kick it. If there's a person behind the door, don't kick the door, right? If someone closes the door on you, don't kick the door. Another door will open. You just have to keep being yourself. If there's an opportunity behind the door, kick that fucking door. Excuse my language, but kick that door, you know? The doors will open. People doors open. And sometimes people doors open that you wouldn't expect. Sometimes people doors close that you wouldn't expect. But they're automatic doors, right? You walk up to an automatic door and it opens, you're supposed to walk through it. If it doesn't, don't smash it. Opportunity doors. That's the old warehouse door, the old barn door with treasures hidden in it. You know? Now, that's a door you want to really take a running, flying kick at. Opportunities boot the door down. People don't. If the door's supposed to open, the door will open itself. That is my advice to you. And if the door is closed, you have more energy for kicking the appropriate doors. All right, let's park here. So, that might be the last thing I say to you today, guys. That might be it. If it is, love you lots, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. If not, then shit, I just dropped my microphone down the back of the chair.